We have a Michigan speech from Biden where he managed to show really well, going on the attack against Trump and speaking on his future policies. I thought it was really good for someone who the media seemed to collectively decide to come down on and do so harder than they are the convicted felon and rapist. So I have a few clips to look at, starting with this Jim.
Look, if you want to know how bad a businessman Trump really is, just think about this. He inherited millions of dollars only to squander it. He's filed bankruptcy 6 times. He even went bankrupt running a casino. I didn't think that was possible. Doesn't the House always win at a casino?
I mean, imagine getting loaned $1 million and having to file bankruptcy. Now times that by 6, and that's Donald Trump. Not only did he practice racial discrimination through his businesses, he failed them as well. If it wasn't for the infinite wealth pool of his father, he'd have been a nobody, and he took those practices with him to the government, failing to create jobs, stunting GDP growth, recklessly spending and adding to our debt and deficit, and trying to favor billionaires, which is what he had to do to his dad to get his start in the first place. The fact that some people trust him to run our country with his record is beyond me. What they're forced to do to back him is try and manipulate numbers, just like this completely disingenuous comment did. However, if you look closely enough, you notice that for some reason, while showing 4 years of 4 years of Obama, 4 years of Biden, for some reason, he only showed 3 years of Trump. I wonder why he would leave out 2020 in Trump's presidency. Oh, it's because 2020 is 147 million of total employment, showing a loss of 4 million jobs for Trump, not a gain of 6 million. So this lie served 2 purposes. First off, to make it seem like Trump created jobs equal to Obama, which he didn't, instead of losing 4 million jobs, and to then discredit Biden's job growth, where if we take it from 2021, 2020 was 147 million, which is where you should take it, which would give Biden 15 million jobs created. But let's just do what he did and cut 1 year off of Biden, right? Let's start it at 2021, where it's 152 million. So Biden actually created 9 million jobs, which is also backed up if you look at monthly job gains from Trump and Obama. Trump's the first 3 years, without even counting the COVID year, will be nice, were similar to Obama's years when he was recovering from a literal recession. His first 3 years never once beat Obama's last 3 years. So MAGA has to rely on these disingenuous attempts to try and say that Trump did well, even though if you look at 3 years of Biden's, he created more jobs than Trump did in 3 years. Kind of crazy.
I guess they don't remember that Trump called Nikki Haley Nancy Pelosi. Well, no. No more. Donald, no more free passes. Today we're going to shine a spotlight on Donald Trump. We're going to do what the press so far hasn't, but I think they're going to soon. We're going to say who he is, what he intends to do. Folks, Donald Trump is a convicted criminal.
This is another great response. It's very disingenuous from MAGA to focus on every Biden gaffe, yet they give Trump a free pass when he does the same thing, saying he ran against Obama in 2016, saying that George Bush is who he ran against in the Republican primary, when he says that Nikki Haley was Nancy Pelosi, when he says that there were airports in 1776, when he tells you to inject bleach, the famous Saudi Arabia, all these clips are just mistakes that happen in the eyes of MAGA, but any Biden gaffe is proof of dementia. Touch grass and meet someone with dementia. Again, though, it's just a lame attempt to frame the narrative away from Trump's failures during his own administration to something that they feel is more favorable to their own side.
We're going to stand up for women in America. We're going to protect contraception. We're going to protect IVF. And we're going to restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land. I mean it. We're going to protect the right to vote. We're going to fight for Medicare and Social Security, not cut it like the other guy wants to do. And I promise I'm going to keep lowering the cost of prescription drugs in America. We're going to keep expanding health care. No matter how many times Trump and his MAGA Republicans come after the Affordable Care Act, we will stop them and stop them and stop them. I mean it. Too many people are depending on it. We're going to protect our children. We're going to get weapons of war off the street. We're going to ban assault weapons. Folks, look, more children are killed by a bullet than any other reason in America.
Yeah, and Republicans' answer to all of this is, well, let's just put guns in schools and make it easier to get guns. That'll protect our children for sure. It's really just because they're owned by the gun lobby, not because they think it's safer, because there's not a single study, there's not a single piece of data you can find that backs that up. And this is a wonderful agenda that Biden is laying out. And again, something MAGA will never focus on because in substance, it absolutely dwarfs Trump's. If you look at his Agenda 47, which he put out in 2023 just to distract from the fact he was going to be a felon, he hasn't touched it since December 2023. Why? Well, because Project 2025 is his actual agenda, and he's trying to distance himself from it now because he knows it's literal cancer to say out loud. This is why we need to not only go vote in huge waves, link to register to vote in my description if you need it, but make sure that we vote blue down the ballot and give Biden the majorities he needs to pass these bills.